Okay, maybe I'm crazy here, but I think something literally just fell from the sky. Today's episode is brought to you by Paula and Dale from the UK. Paula and Dale sent along the extremely thoughtful gift of two of my favorite things in the world, tea and cookies, or should I say biscuits. Let's try a sip. Oh, that is a good cup of tea. Paula and Dale, thank you so much for the extremely thoughtful gift. You've made this particular yeoman's day. You've made my week. Here's a poem by Okokura Kakuzo. Meanwhile, let us have a sip of tea. Let us dream of evanescence and linger in the beautiful foolishness of things. Thank you again so much, Paula and Dale. Hi friends, I'm Sean the Modern Yeoman.
You on video?
I'm on video, yes. Say hello.
Hi.
I don't know if they can see you.
Who's they?
The world.
Were you filming a monologue as I pulled up?
I just walked up to film my opening monologue.
It's beautiful.
It's gorgeous out. Before we jump into today's presentation, I wanted to briefly address the weather events of this past weekend. A lot of you folks asked us how we fared through some of the worst rain and flooding that we've seen here in Tennessee, and honestly was a lot worse in other parts of the state. Well, thank you guys for checking in on us and keeping tabs on us, number one. Number two, how did we fare? Well, not that bad. We did get some damage, but it could have been a lot worse. We did get some flooding. It almost came up to our door, but our power kept working and therefore our sump pump kept working. Damage was mostly limited to our driveway. There's a lot of ravines and gullies that worked their way through the gravel that will need to get amended so we can drive better up the driveway. And our septic system got plugged up in the flooding. In other words, we couldn't flush. But, like I said, it was a lot worse in other parts of Tennessee. So we escaped with very minor damage, and we're thankful for that. Anyways, the sun is shining now, and the toilets are flushing. So you know what they say. Let's make hay while the sun shines. Okay, so before we get... Okay, maybe I'm crazy here, but I think something literally just fell from the sky. There's a hawk over there. Did that hawk drop something? He's behind the trees. I don't know if you can see it on camera. Did he drop something? Did I just see a hawk drop something? I heard like a little poof up here in the grass somewhere. What in the world did I just witness? All right, I'm not oh, never mind. Yep, I think I know what the hawk dropped. So it looks like a field mouse that the hawk dropped. I don't know if that was an accident or if he just didn't want it. Wasn't appetizing to him. Already there's an ant on this poor thing. But yeah, if I was walking just a few steps further ahead, that dead field mouse would have landed on my head. I didn't know that they were dead when they caught them. I don't know the story, but I'm gonna get rid of this thing. I'll probably toss it back into the woods. You know, for a second I considered feeding this thing to the chickens. I remember my chickens when we lived back up in Michigan, they would often chase down field mice and eat them, but I don't know the story with this little thing. It doesn't look so good. The hawk didn't want it. I don't know if the chickens would either. So like I said, I'm just gonna chuck it in the woods here. I hope this isn't some sort of augury, some sort of ill omen. I literally almost got hit on the head by a dead mouse on camera. Anyways, how about a palate cleanser, huh? Let's show you something cool. Notice anything different? That's right, I've got a garden now. Now, technically, this isn't exactly a garden yet. We still need to put compostable paper bags down in the raised beds, fill it up with the compost, and then actually put food, vegetables, in these raised beds. But come on. For all intents and purposes, this thing is shaping up. It's really starting to look good. Now, how did we do this, you might ask? Well, it was very simple. Basically, we set down the raised beds where we wanted them to be, put them in position, and then filled everywhere else in, all the other part of the garden in this squared off area, with weed barrier, this black fabric-like material that we then pinned down with landscape pins. After that, I spent a good deal of time filling in all the non-raised beds areas with mulch. Now, initially, you might remember, I was concerned that our mulch pile wouldn't be nearly enough to cover this area. Well, it was enough and then some. Take a look at how much mulch we still have left waiting for us. I'd say we've got another 2 or 3 yards or so spread out a little bit. Maybe 2 yards. Let's go with 2 yards. Needless to say, it worked out for us. We really didn't think that we'd have enough mulch, but we did in spades. So the main portion of the garden is looking good, but I'm not done. I still have quite a bit of work left to do. You see, I still have to work on the raised bed section for our greens. For those of you that don't know, we're actually having a separate little mini garden area back here that's in partial shade, where we're gonna put all of our greens, things like arugula, spinach, a couple of other things. Holly's got the list, but things that grow better in shade so they don't bolt out too early. I still haven't, as you can see here, I still haven't even taken the silage tarp off of this area, so I need to get the silage tarp out. I need to get the beds repositioned. I need to put the weed barrier down, and then I need to put mulch in between them. So I still have a lot of work to do today. Let's go. I know there's a bit of irony here, because these grass clippings could potentially grow grass in the dead zone, but well, that, my friend, I think concludes this portion of my garden building experience. There's still a lot left to do in the next week or two. We need to get the compost delivered and in the beds, but not before we put down the compostable brown paper bags there. We've got to get a fencing system in place. We've got to get some sort of edging solution before we get the fence. There's a lot of things. I could keep rolling it off, but I'll tell you what, just standing here and looking at the layout, seeing the mulch down, seeing the beds in place, seeing the layout, seeing the chickens grazing peacefully in the distance, I'll tell you what, it does my heart good. I think I've said this a couple times, but growing our own food was one of the primary reasons that we started homesteading. You can call it homesteading. We bought a chunk of land and we want to raise and grow our own food, whether that's homesteading, permaculture, farming, sustenance farming, whatever you want to call it. Growing our own food, raising our own food was one of, if not the biggest reasons that we started doing this. Seeing everything laid out like this, like I said, it's hard to articulate how much it means to me. We still got a lot of work, but man, I'm just going to sit here and soak it up. And remember the words that define this channel. Slowly, slowly. Until next time, friends.